Contact the Franklin Disability Commission for information and support. Just call 508-298-4023. That's 508-298-4023. Community radio in the public interest. You're listening to WFPR-LP 102.9, Franklin Public Radio. You can listen online at WFPR.FM. We're always happy you're here.
Hello, this is Frank Falvey with Frank's Music. And Jim Derrick is in the studio, and I'm at home.
I am back in the studio. We are socially distanced, which is a good thing. However, I do miss your company. Glad that through technology, we can at least see.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7 p.m., and I want to welcome everyone to the April 14th, 2022 meeting of the Franklin Conservation Commission. Before we begin, I do have a few announcements, so bear with me, please. Due to concerns regarding the COVID virus, the Conservation Commission meeting is available to participate in either by using the Zoom platform or certainly in person. For those that use the Zoom platform and have questions, I want to urge you to wait until the chair, which is myself, Bill Batchelor, will ask for questions from the residents, etc. Before that, we certainly will take testimony and then hear from the commissioners. And at that point, once the commissioners end up with their questions or answers, I will call on the public for any statements or any questions they may have. Certainly, if you're using the Zoom application, we would ask you to just type in the meeting number 860-4772-4713. If you're using a cell phone or a landline, simply call the number 929-205-6099 and then put in the number 860-4772-4713. Now, because there are commissioners that are virtual, I am going to make a roll call of commissioners who are with us tonight. So I'll do so first by calling for our Vice Chair, Mr. Joe, and Commissioner, Mr. Jeff Milne.
Jeff Milne's here, sir.
Thank you. I will also then call and see if Patrick Gallagher is with us.
Patrick Gallagher is here.
Thank you, Commissioner Gallagher. I will call on Commissioner Michael Ryan to see if he is with us.
Michael Ryan is here.
Thank you. Good evening, Michael. And finally, let me call on Richard Johnson. Richard, are you with us?
We are here.
Thank you. Good evening, Richard. I want to make note that Commissioner Jeff Livingstone and Commissioner Andrew Mazzucchelli are absent from this evening's meeting and will be listed as such. They are not with us tonight. So without further ado, I will formally open the Conservation Commission meeting for April 14th to the public hearings at this point. The first item on our agenda is an NOI for 585 King Street. Is the applicant or their representative with us?
Yes, we're here.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Josh Berman.
Would you state your name, please?
Josh Berman with Marcus Partners.
Yes, John, how are you?
Great, thank you. So today we are proposing on a warehouse building at the intersection of King Street and 495, directly off of the off-ramp. We have a wetlands crossing that we'll be going over, and then replication areas. We have been in front of the planning board twice now to propose on this project. So I'd like to turn it over to Mark with LEC, who will walk through the project in a little bit more detail.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh.
Good evening.
Again, my name is Mark Manganello with LEC Environmental. Can you guys all hear me okay in the hearing room?
Yep.
We got you.
Excellent. Is it okay if I share my screen? Will that work?
Okay. By the way, while we're sharing the screen, I was remiss in not announcing the fact that Brian Tabanier is here on behalf of the Conservation Commissioner, Tyler Pazlaski, who works for the Conservation Department, and Lenore White, who is our consultant from WSI. So forgive me, people, but you are here and we appreciate it. So please proceed.
Okay, thank you again. As Josh mentioned, this project involves construction of a warehouse building. There's paved parking areas, an access driveway, stormwater management system, utilities, and associated land clearing and grading. For access to the upland on the property on which the warehouse building will be constructed, the project requires a wetland crossing from King Street to the west. The wetland crossing will result in temporary and permanent disturbance to wetlands, including BVW, bank to intermittent streams, and land underwater. The project's been designed to avoid and minimize wetland impacts to the greatest extent practical, and to minimize for unavoidable wetland impacts with a wetland mitigation plan that involves wetland replication, bank restoration, and buffer zone restoration. As a bit of background, I'm going to switch to the existing conditions plan here. You can all see that hopefully pretty well. The commission might recall that we filed an ANRAD to confirm wetland boundaries on this property last year. The commission, I believe, hired Wetland Strategies to review that application, and the commission issued an order of resource area delineation approving the wetland boundaries last year as well. So the wetland boundaries that are shown on the plan submitted with the notice of intent are all reviewed and approved at this point. This project's also subject to MEPA review. An environmental notification form has been filed. That filing is under review by MEPA, and the project will also require an environmental impact report. So that review process is running sort of simultaneous to this. The wetland resource areas on the property include bordering vegetated wetlands and bank associated with intermittent streams. There's also land underwater associated with the intermittent streams. The wetland system's on the east side of the property, running sort of parallel to King Street. The stream flows south, extending off-site to the south and southwest. There's no real connection to the north to anything else. As you can see, Route 495, the King Street exit off-ramp is to the north of this site. So there's no real noticeable connection to anything on the other side of 495. It appears to just sort of be the headwaters of a stream. I'm sure it picks up a lot of runoff from 495 as well. The project, skipping down, project involves construction of a 255,000 square foot warehouse building. Access road will be 30-foot wide, paved, access driveway from King Street. There'll be paved parking and paved loading areas for cars and trucks, stormwater management system, a septic system, and supporting utilities and infrastructure. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to focus on the access driveway since that's where the wetland disturbances occur. But feel free to ask any questions about other aspects of the project as we move along here. So this is a view of the wetland crossing, the access driveway. The access driveway crosses the wetland and the intermittent stream. It involves temporary and permanent impacts to both those resource areas. The main stream channel, which you can see here, will be spanned with an open bottom box culvert designed in accordance with Massachusetts stream crossing standards. There will be approximately 12,860 square feet of permanent BVW, well, total BVW disturbance, 10,460 square feet of permanent, 385 linear feet of bank disturbance, and 1,892 square feet of land underwater disturbance. The roadway has been designed with vertical retaining walls as opposed to sloped sidewalls in order to minimize disturbances. The roadway width is set at 30 feet, which is the minimum width that can accommodate two-way truck traffic from a facility like this. So these are examples of measures that have been taken to minimize disturbances to the greatest extent practical, given the constraints of the site and of the proposed project. Mitigation for the disturbances includes 21,439 square feet of BVW replication in 4 areas. These are hatched here, 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 and here. This number is greater than 2 times the total permanent BVW impact, which is a requirement of your bylaw, as I'm sure you know. So we do comply with that. Additional mitigation will occur in the location of the existing access driveway, which extends from King Street through here to the upland. There's an existing stream crossing and culvert that's been in place for many years. That's going to be removed and the stream channel restored in that location. We're also going to restore any temporarily disturbed buffer zone areas that require disturbance for grading to construct the project. For example, up here, there'll be some buffer zone disturbance to construct the side slopes for this stormwater basin. We'll restore those with a conservation seed mix. Lastly, regulatory compliance. So this project is somewhat unique in that it exceeds the sort of standard thresholds for BVW disturbance under the state regulations, which is 5,000 square feet. We're well over that with this. This type of a wetland disturbance is allowable if the project qualifies as a limited project, which this project does. And this is known as a so-called limited access project, where there's a clearly defined developable upland area, which we have on this property, and there's no other means of accessing that property that would avoid wetland impacts. So the state regulations are written in a manner to allow impacts greater than the sort of typical thresholds if it's a unique situation and you have no other way to access the upland area. And this is just that type of a case. The standards place the burden on the applicant, on us, to demonstrate that we've avoided and minimized impacts to the greatest extent practical, and that we've mitigated impacts to the greatest extent practical. So we believe we've met all 3 of those criteria. We can talk about that in greater detail if you have specific questions about that. And lastly, I just wanted to point out, and it is sort of under the topic of the limited project provisions, that the location of this access driveway is driven by an effort to reduce wetland impacts, yes, number one, but it's really driven by traffic concerns. And you can't see it from this view, but this access driveway is located directly across the street from Constitution Boulevard, creating a 4-way intersection, signaled intersection, which will be upgraded as part of the project. And the traffic engineers for the project determined that this was the safest way to construct this access driveway. So alternatives to the current configuration that would shift the driveway to the north or to the south, which may reduce wetland impacts somewhat, wouldn't eliminate them, but it might reduce them somewhat, were not considered feasible because they create an unsafe traffic situation. So that's an overview of the project. I'm sure you'll have some questions, so fire away.
This is Chairman Batchelor. Before I ask for comments from the commissioners, I would like to get any comments from Mr. Tavernier. Brian?
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think in short, I think that was a good presentation, number one, so people understand what is being proposed right now. And of course, Wetland Strategies has just begun their review, so they won't have any comments until at least the next meeting. Mm-hmm. And we also do not have, at least as of yesterday, we do not have a DEP number.
DEP number?
On the project. Mm-hmm. That could have changed in the last few hours, but other than that, I have really no comment. I think it's just a matter of continuing after, when you're done with them tonight,
It's in a
continuing for
stalled
2
state,
weeks.
honestly, until, Lenore White, you're with us tonight, aren't you?
Yes,
Good
I am.
evening.
How are you doing, Bill?
Would you care to make an initial comment, even though you have not had an opportunity to investigate this project, NOI?
Well, I just wanted to point out that, as Mark Manganello rightfully pointed out, this is what would be considered a limited project insofar as there appears that there's no other access into the site that would not involve wetland alteration. So it would qualify as a limited project as far as that goes. But I do want to point out that limited projects are discretionary. There's nothing in the limited project provisions that said the commission shall approve. It says may approve. So that as this review goes on, I will maybe have some further questions about it, but I do want to point out that the regulations don't automatically allow an approval, but rather they give the commission the discretion as to whether or not they want to approve the project. So, and Mark, just curious, you mentioned that there's an EIR required, environmental impact review. That's significant.
Yep, that's due to environmental justice regulations.
Oh, okay. And what about Army Corps of Engineers? Have you heard anything back from them?
We haven't filed with them yet. That's going to happen hopefully in the next month. And we need a water quality certification as well.
Right, because I'm concerned that those two reviews might affect the plans. They might have some changes that come along, so I was hoping we could do the review concurrently, but I understand you guys probably want to proceed with, the review at the local level here. But oftentimes, as you know, when it goes through those kind of comprehensive reviews by either Army Corps or certainly MEPA, there are changes that occur to the project. So just, as a general note, there may be some changes that we have to deal with down the line. But my review hasn't really started in any real formal way. I understand that you just got scoped for the project through beta. So we'll wait and get the approval to proceed before I go any further right now.
Thank you, Lenore. I appreciate your input. This is Chairman Batchelor. I will poll the commissioners, although I will make a statement. I believe it's premature for us to make any type of a decision as to even the testimony that's given this evening, but let me poll the commissioners to see if there are any questions. Commissioner Gallagher, do you have any questions?
No questions, but just a request, if the applicant could submit copies of MEPA filings, I'd be curious to see the ENF and EIR and any secretary certificates that are issued.
Mark, did you hear that?
Yes, I did. I got it.
Okay, thank you.
I believe Concom is copied on the ENF. So if you don't have a copy somewhere, and I know your agent left recently, if you don't have a copy, let me know. I can make sure to get one.
I did not see one.
So I didn't see one, but that doesn't mean that.
That doesn't mean it isn't here, but
we'll
at this point, it wasn't put into the Google Drive. So I don't
Okay.
have that either.
It would have come through, I believe, as a link to a Dropbox,
Okay.
not a hard copy. So hopefully it's in someone's email somewhere, but if not, we can send it along.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You
All set.
all set, Patrick? Thank you. Michael, do you have any, Michael Ryan, Commissioner?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice Chairman Milne.
I have some skepticism about the access road, but until we see more of the studies,
It's premature.
it's very premature to even talk about it.
Agree, yes. Is that it? That's it. Thank you. Richard Johnson, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I'm fine.
Okay, this is Chairman Batchelor, and I happen to agree with my associates here. I think at this point, it's premature for the commission to really ask any questions that have meat or bearing on the project, and until we hear from WSI and certainly DEP, when those reports come forward, as well as the request by Commissioner Gallagher, when we have had time to investigate that material, it is, I think the best thing to do is to just continue this NOI, certainly until at least our next meeting. Would you agree with that, Brian?
Absolutely.
Thank you, yes. So, Mark and John, we will keep this open, but we will go for a continuance, and I believe the next meeting is when?
April 28th.
April 28th?
It would be 7:02.
At 7?
02.
02, April 28th at 7:02, okay. That being the case, I will ask for a recommendation for continuance for the NOI 585 King Street to April 28th at 7:02. Do I have a motion, please?
Do we want to see if there's any public comment for now, or?
Yeah, we can ask for public comment. The question, the issue is their questions cannot be authentically answered until all the reports are in. However, it is a public hearing, and if anybody wants to ask a question, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get an answer. If there is a question, you have to sign in over there.
I just have a question on the document.
You have to sign in legally, you have to sign in over there.
Okay.
And then sign in before you give your question, please. And then state who you are and where you live.
My name's Blake Peters. I live at 16 Taft Drive.
Yes.
And I'm just curious about the documents, whether or not they're available online that we can download to view. I didn't see them today when I tried to look.
Brian, you want to answer that?
I will answer that. We will have it available. I guarantee within the next week. We actually are talking about.
You have nothing yet.
I'm talking
Oh,
about.
you don't even have them?
I have nothing.
Yeah.
I got their application, but in terms, I have the sketch, but we don't have any of the reports. That's why we can't make a comment.
Right. Yeah, so as far as what has been submitted, you'll be able to get access to that, and then we'll have the same location you'll be able to go to get any
Correct.
additional reports. Okay, so
Yeah,
we will do,
right
you
now,
can call
we're
our
kind of
office if
flying
you'd like.
blind.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you.
That's why I appreciate Commissioner Gallagher mentioning it to me, skipping by the public hearing. It's a matter of law, but we have no answers for you. Anybody else want to ask a question we probably can't answer? Okay, there is none. Then I will thank you, Patrick. I'll take a motion. Since it's you, I'll take a motion from you, Patrick, to continue this until April 28th at 7:02.
I'm just trying to cause trouble.
No, you actually, you got the chair that time, and that's not the first time you've gotten me. These lawyers, they're crazy.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing on the NOI for 585 King Street to April 28th at 7:02.
Thank you, Commissioner Gallagher.
I'll
Michael,
second that.
Second? Okay, let's take a vote. Jeff Milne.
I vote to approve continuing.
All right, Richard Johnson.
Richard Johnson votes to approve continuance.
Thank you, Patrick.
I vote to continue.
Thank you, Michael.
I vote to continue.
And this is Chairman Batchelor. This NOI for 585 King Street is continued until April 28th at 7:02 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark and John, good job. All right, we have an NOI coming up now for our next hearing, which is 839 Upper Union Street. Is the applicant or their representative with us?
I'm the applicant,
Oh, hi, how are you? Could you state your name, please?
Matthew Clark.
Oh, good evening, Matthew. And you are?
I am the owner-developer
Okay.
of TMC Holdings.
Okay, now, it is the chair's understanding that we just received the DEP number tonight?
Correct, we do.
Yeah, that does not meet with the chairs and the commission's schedule. We asked for 3 days before the meeting, so it doesn't fall within that guidelines. We don't, also, are there any other reports, Brian, that are missing?
I'm going to ask if Lenore has I know that it's being reviewed by Beta on planning board side, but also Lenore's doing a review on our side.
I haven't seen it.
I know that.
That's
and,
my problem.
yeah.
It's hard for the commission to give a vote up or down or do anything without any reports in front of us. It's, again, we're flying blind here. No offense, Matthew, but there is a process, and the board, the commission has a rule that we need 1 week with all documents before the meeting to study And we don't accept anything on the day of or even to a DEP number as such. So,
Right. I do know that, I believe that Wetland Strategies did provide their comment letter either today or yesterday. I believe it's up on the, on your
that
web.
doesn't meet
But
with our
that doesn't give me enough time, obviously, to do.
okay.
do a big
Lenore, you're
review.
with us. Did you do a filing on this? The upper
Yes, I
unit?
did.
You did? When
Yes,
that-
I did. And I gave it to Bader, I think it was Mondays, and they forwarded on. So it was late coming in for your time frame. My comments were relatively minor. It was basically due to the site is a vacant lot, and when the lot was cleared many years ago, there was disturbance right up to the edge of the buffer zone, right up to the edge of the wetland, actually. So the plan to develop the lot includes a new building on the site, which will include paving and access roads and grading. So some of the grading that they're proposing to do goes right up to the edge and maybe into the 25-foot buffer zone, but it's just grading. So, and that's just associated with the project. So my real only comment was, gee, you know, the buffer zone was disturbed. I'd like to see that buffer zone restored. So I think there's probably going to be a change in plans, maybe to make the restoration a little bit better, because right now it's just, it calls for grading in that area and a conservation seed mix. So I'm asking for a better restoration plan. And as was mentioned, I know that the DEP number just came in. There were some comments on that I think the applicant is going to have to address. So there'll be further information coming forward from the applicant, I do believe. And the applicant may want to confirm or speak to that.
Okay, thank you very much, Lenore. Therefore, and again, our rules are firm until the commissioners have had an opportunity to read these reports, study them. We can't do a finding. We're flying here. Again, I like to use flying blind, ex-pilot. So anyway, it is a public hearing. Anybody have a question that we can't answer? Then that being the case, and Matthew, forgive me, but we're going to ask for a continuance on this NOI for 839 Upper Union Street to the 28th at 7:03 p.m. So I'll take, since there is no public questions, I'll take a motion from Commissioner Gallagher.
Pat Gallagher, I'll make a motion to continue the NOI for 839 Upper Union Street to April 28th at 7:03 p.m.
Thank you, sir. I'll take a second from Commissioner Ryan.
I move to, I second the motion.
Thank you. Let's take a vote. Commissioner Milne, how do you vote?
Jeff Milne, I vote.
Continue. Commissioner Johnson, how do you vote?
I vote to continue.
Thank you. Commissioner Gallagher?
Pat Gallagher, I vote to continue.
Thank you. Commissioner Ryan?
Michael Ryan votes to continue.
As Chairman and Commissioner Batchelor, I also vote to continue. Let it be known that 839 Upper Union Street has been continued to April 28th at 7:03 p.m. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Lenore, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Okay. Next on our punch list is 84 Populatic Street. 84 Populatic. Is the representative or the applicant with us, please? Brian.
Doesn't appear they are here. They did know that it would be continued today, and they will be requesting that.
Okay.
I believe it was just received today, the DEP number.
DEP number, right.
And there has not
WSI,
been,
there's
we
no-
haven't had a review yet, so we're,
Okay.
yeah, we're in the
Okay,
same
well-
place that we were.
That being the case, I'll tell you what, let's go. Are there any questions from the public which we cannot answer? Okay, there are none. So, let me ask for a motion to continue the NOI for 84 Populatic to April 28th at 7:04 p.m.
Pat Gallagher, I'll make a motion to continue the NOI for 84 Populatic Street to April 28th at 7:04 p.m.
Thank you, Commissioner Gallagher. Commissioner Ryan, do you give
Michael
me a
Ryan
second?
will second that motion.
Thank you very much. Let's take a vote. Vice Chairman Milne.
Jeff Milton votes to continue.
Thank you very much. Richard Johnson, Commissioner, do you vote to continue?
I do vote to continue.
Thank you, Richard. Patrick Gallagher,
I vote to continue.
Michael Ryan,
Vote to continue?
as Chairman, and Commissioner Batchelor. The NOI for 84 Populatic Street has been continued to April 28th at 7:04 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Okay, the chair is going to recuse for the next public hearing, so if Vice Chairman and Commissioner Milne will take the call on this NOI, please.
Thank you,
Or
Mr.
NRAD, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So 1.4 on the agenda, the NRAD for Franklin Heights Parcel B. Do we have a representative with us tonight on that?
Does not appear that we have anybody in the house right now. I can give you a quick update on how we are doing right now. So the Franklin Heights project, abbreviated Notice of Resource Area Delineation. We've had Lenore White out in the field at least twice so far, the last time with the applicant. They have reflagged substantial areas of the property. So what we're going to be doing in the near future is she'll be getting out there again. They're going to be modifying the scope of work for Beta and Wetland Strategies to add in additional work. She'll be going out there again with the applicant's engineer and continuing to flag. There's a couple of issues. They have an additional isolated wetland that was located while Lenore was out there. They also are working on intermittent stream condition. And so at this point, I think because the applicant is not represented, I recommend to continue for 2 weeks to 7:05. They did know that we would be doing that, so I have no problem doing that. I don't know if Lenore had anything to add, or she wants to just hold until 2 weeks from now. But
Lenore, any comments?
No, Brian summed it up well. We went back to the site, we delineated a lot of new areas. The applicant has now asked for an additional review to cover the isolated wetlands as well as the stream status. I just today sent over a revised scope and budget over to Beta so that we can get that work underway. So it's still under review at this point.
Thanks, Lenore. Can I have a motion to continue?
Pat Gallagher, I'll make a motion to continue the hearing on the NRAD for Franklin Heights Parcel B to April 28th at 7:05 p.m.
Michael Ryan, move to continue.
Let me take
Second that motion, sorry.
Let me take a vote. Michael?
I vote to continue.
Patrick?
I vote to continue.
Richard?
Vote to continue.
And Jeff Milne votes to continue as well. So we're continued to April 28th at 7:05.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Okay, that concludes the public hearings for the April 14th meeting. As such, we'll get into the general business cycle of our meeting, which I believe there are 2 MBZAs that we can discuss. The first one is 12 Corey Way. Brian, is the applicant with us? I don't believe I see anybody there.
I don't believe so.
Do you want to get involved in it, Brian?
I'd be happy to, actually, I'm probably going to do more than that. I'm going to introduce Lenore, because she's been my eyes and ears lately.
Okay. Lenore?
And she can do a quick overview of the project and
Very good.
provide a recommendation for you.
Do you want to give us a little update on this tree business on Corey Way, please?
Sure. I was at the site, I think it was last week, and I met with the homeowner. And there's a couple that live there with their 3 children. They would like to remove a large, very large oak tree. The oak tree is about 30 to 40 feet away from a wetland. It appears to be a small pond that's located in their backyard. And the tree is, like I said, about 30 to 40 feet from that wetland. So I don't see any problem with removing that tree. It's not in the wetland. It's not within the 25-foot buffer zone. I would add conditions, including that there's no stumping or grading, because that would probably incur alteration, at least within the 25 feet. So no stumping, no grading. And I would also add the condition that they remove all the wood debris from the site once the tree has come down.
Okay. That seems rather cut and dry, so what we're saying is, basically, we'll ask for an approval for an MBZA for 12 Corey Way, conditional on the fact that the stump is not removed, there is no grading, and the debris is taken off property. So I'll take a motion to approve the MBZA as stated.
Pat Gallagher, motion to approve as stated.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Michael Ryan, second.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Let's take a vote. Commissioner Milne, do you vote as
Sure.
stated?
Jeff Milne votes to approve as stated.
Thank you. Richard Johnson, do you vote as stated?
I do.
Thank you.
Approve.
Patrick?
Vote to approve.
Michael?
Vote to approve.
All right, this is Chairman Batchelor and Commissioner Batchelor, so let it be known that 12 Corey Way is being issued an MBZA, conditional on the stump, staying, and no grading and removal of debris. Thank you. We have a second MBZA, which is for 853 Pond Street. We have more trees. Is the applicant with us?
I
or-
don't know, I'm just checking. Does not appear to be here.
Okay.
Again, Lenore, why don't you give a quick review?
Lenore, do you have an update on this for us, please?
Yes, I did go to this property, and it's really not tree removal. It's just some limbing or trimming. They don't want to take out any trees because the trees, they couldn't come out. The trees are in the wetland, and the whole backyard pretty much is very, very close to the wetland edge. So I believe the request was simply to do some limbing, removing the branches that are overhanging the house, but no actual tree removal. So with that understanding, I would recommend that they be allowed to do tree trimming and limbing. No cutting and removal of trees, though.
Okay, what about anything removed from the site?
Yeah, again, I would recommend any debris that comes, that
Be
does
removed?
get. Yeah, because it's all wet back there. You don't want them
Yes.
putting all the limbs out in the wetland, yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Lenore. Then, that being the case, this seems to be a rather generic situation. So, granting an MBZA for 853 Pond Street for pruning and trimming only with debris and slash to be removed from area. I'll
Pat-
take a motion.
Pat Gallagher, so moved to approve as stated.
Do I have a second from Commissioner Ryan?
Second.
Thank you very much. Let's take a vote. Vice Chairman Milne.
Jeff Milne votes to approve as stated.
Thank you. Richard Johnson.
Richard Johnson votes to approve as stated.
Thank you. Gallagher?
Pat Gallagher, I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ryan?
Michael Ryan votes to approve as stated.
Okay, this is Chairman and Commissioner Batchelor. Let it be known that the MBZA for 853 Pond Street is approved with the conditional for pruning and trimming with any slash or brush removed from the site. Thank you very much. Yes, we have minutes. To
Good
approve.
night, everyone. I'm going to leave the meeting. Excuse me, Bill. I'm going to leave the meeting. So good night, everyone. Have a happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter to you.
Same to you.
Enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night. We have meeting minutes from March 31. I'll take a motion to approve as we have them.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Do I have a second?
Second?
Let's take a vote. Commissioner Milne, you vote to approve the minutes from March 31st meeting.
Jeff Milne votes to approve the minutes from March 31st.
Thank you. Richard Johnson.
Richard Johnson votes to approve the
Thank you.
Minutes.
Gallagher.
Matt Gallagher, I vote to approve.
Ryan.
Approved?
Bachelor, approved. Minutes are approved from the March 31st meeting. Okay, that seems to conclude the base of our meeting this evening. I do have, the chair has a question. Tyler, do you want to give us any updates on Earth Day? Did we make any headway on any issues other than gloves?
Right now, we seem like we've ordered a table where we placed an order for the T-shirts.
Right.
I'm in contact with Lily up in town administration about promoting the event on.
Okay, I did not have an opportunity to have a conversation with Commissioner Livingstone on anything to do with sponsors, so I don't know where that lays at this point. I did, because I am in the medical business, volunteer to provide the gloves for the people that come. I'll get a box of large gloves that will be available to those that attend.
I might just add too, I think there was probably some of the budget from the fall's event was left over, so, you know, if we aren't able to get sponsors and still wanted to get refreshments, I think we may have some budget available for that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just to let you know that Mr. Halligan, who has given $1,000 for donated in previous years, has done it again. Just in the last couple of weeks, he
very generous and appreciated.
The town council accepted a check on your behalf at a last meeting or 2 meetings ago.
Does Mark get to keep that, or does that go in our budget?
No, I get it.
Just chiding you.
So it goes into our gift account, and so right now there is substantial money in there. Tyler did order T-shirts.
Perfect.
I have a couple of calls into people at DPW. I mean, they'll pick up the trash, they'll do things of that nature. We'll either have them delivering and picking up tables and chairs or whatever, or we can actually utilize maybe the building commissioner's truck, throw things in the back the night before and deliver them on site, whatever. So it shouldn't be a problem. We have 2 tents available to use, and we have displays downstairs. So it's the only thing that, the only loose end, I mean, it's always going to be a loose end, I'm sure, but trash bags are easy through DPW, and if you want to have refreshments, if you want to have that, you can actually purchase. If that doesn't work out, you have money in the bank, you could purchase what you need, whatever you want to put out there.
Yeah, Jeff was to make contact, and if he can't, we'll find out.
Sure.
And then I'm sure if someone, Tyler or somebody, reached out to Starbucks and or Big Y, they've been a perennial sponsor.
Right. Well, I do understand. What I try to get my department to not do is ask for handouts.
Become involved in that.
Yeah, because then, they come to the counter the next minute and want a favor, so we don't do that.
I got it.
So, but if the commission, wants to do whatever it wants to do, that's fine.
Got it.
We don't do it on our end.
Good point.
Okay.
Well taken. Accepted. I will update you, Brian, if I can get a hold of Livingstone. If I can't, the problem is I can't do it because May is a bad month for me. Let me just put it that way.
Sure.
I have some issues that I have to attend to, and I may not be around towards that point in time. I'm not sure right now.
That's fine. So at your next meeting, we can talk about it again, have an update.
Hopefully we'll have answers for
Right.
everything.
So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Good
Yep.
point. Thank you. Any questions from commissioners on that? No? Nope. Richard, any question?
Nope, I'm good.
Brian, do you have anything you'd like to discuss with the commissioners?
We have a conservation agent starting on the 25th,
Oh, of this month?
Monday of the 25th of April.
Oh, we do?
So hopefully she will be at your next meeting.
Okay.
I'll be here also, but that'll,
At the time appropriate, would you just send out an email to the commissioners letting us know who that might be?
absolutely. I tended to,
Wait till they arrive?
yeah.
Understand, I've been there before, and not with
Hey,
the,
guess what? Monday, we have somebody starting, and then, they don't show up, or
Had
there's
that
something else
happen in
happens, or
corporate life,
they
yes.
show up Monday and say, I'm going back to my other job. So
as soon as you brand them with the town of Franklin seal,
I will do that.
let the commission know who that might be, and
I will do that,
we would
yes.
welcome them. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody want to discuss anything?
Would you like a motion to close?
Well, I was waiting for you to say that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll give you a motion to close the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's take a vote. Patrick,
Vote to close.
Michael,
Vote to close.
Jeff,
Without a doubt.
Richard,
Vote to close.
this is Bachelor. We're done. Thank you, everyone. Good job.
Tyler, anything to sign?